Karen Reed case was continued until April. The U.S. Attorney's Office released 3,100 pages of testimony, metadata, etc., and both sides need some time to go through that investigation. Let's use our brain a little bit, because if that federal investigation uncovered a mass cover-up, they would have intervened, right? So I think we know that there wasn't anything explosive in there. They're definitely going to find things on both sides that they can use. But if it doesn't disqualify any of the evidence that they currently have, and it just adds more context, she's still going to be in Framingham. There's going to be a lot of, oh, why wasn't this protocol followed exactly? And why did this person call this person? Was this entered into evidence and by who? But if all the facts stand as they are, as we know them, she's cooked. Then there's 3,100 pages of minutia that both sides can use to call out inconsistencies in grand jury testimony or call out inconsistencies in stories. But the way her defense team has been working, they'll point out inconsistencies that aren't really inconsistencies. So like if one person describes something one way, but then they add more detail in a later statement, that doesn't mean the story changed, right? But they will exploit that and say that the person changed their story. Now, from the perspective of the outside looking in, when you're looking at cases like this, if someone's telling the truth, all of the evidence that starts to leak out starts supporting that. That's what would happen if someone's telling the truth. And if someone's lying, their story will kind of shift with the evidence as it comes out. So let's think about what we're seeing here.
A friend and colleague of Brian Albert's called me on February 2nd.
David Yannetti said that Scanlon reached out to him and named Colin Albert and Brian Albert as potential suspects.
Somebody else, I learned that somebody else did, in fact, commit a very heinous crime.
Turtleboy reached out to Scanlon to ask him questions about that conversation. Scanlon had no idea who Colin Albert was, so clearly he didn't make that statement.
How did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
Who?
How did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
Probably through you. I don't even know Colin Albert.
No, but did you tell the attorneys that Colin Albert was in the house when you met with him?
Did I what?
Did you tell the attorneys that, or David Yannetti or whoever,
No.
when you didn't mention the name Colin Albert to them?
I didn't even know Colin Albert.
Okay.
They might have said it. They might have told me. We had a good talk, the three of us.
Okay.
And named Brian Albert and his nephew Colin Albert as potential suspects.
You came to them with a tip before anyone had any idea that this beating had happened, and it led to this investigation, which has turned out to be true.
No, that's not true. That's not true. When I showed up, when I got to them, they're confused. Dave Yannetti's a little confused.
Well, I haven't talked to Dave Yannetti, so
Yannetti and Turtleboy both know that Colin Albert wasn't named, yet they continue to drag his name through the mud.
Your stupid cunt daughters, that's what they fucking are, hanging out with this fucking worthless piece of shit, Colin fucking Albert.
And that's Colin Albert.
I didn't even know the other guy. I don't even know. No, if someone's giving you a little, I don't know, your information is, now it's going off track a little bit.
So Yannetti and Turtleboy both know that Colin Albert was never named by anyone, but they still dragged his name through the mud for a year and turned his life upside down.
Colin was in the house. He was inside the house. Inside the house. You think I'm scared of your fucking pussy son, Colin?
Oh, yes. Fuck you, pussy.
What?
Fuck you.
What do you mean, fuck me?
Fuck you.
Why are you?
Fuck you, Turtleboy. You're a bully. You guys are bullies with cameras.
How are we
Bully
bullies?
with a fucking camera. You're a liar.
Who are you? No, something's just bad with the owner. They killed someone. Oh, I can't wait to see Colin. If you want free Karen Reed! A lot of questions for Colin. First, you know Colin was in the house, right? She knows it.
The hell he was.
What's up?
The hell he was.
Yes, he was, exactly. Thank you. She agrees with me. That Colin out.
I don't agree with you at all.
So why did Brian Albert's grand jury minutes say he was there?
Poor guy. Get a life.
I do. I like John O'Keefe would like his life back, but Colin Albert and
Such a low life.
what? How am I a lowlife? You went in there and you bought pizza off of a scumbag who doesn't pay his bills and whose son and brother were involved in the murder of a Boston police officer. And I'm the scumbag? I could kick the shit out of your stupid son.
But now there's all this digital evidence proving that He wasn't there at the same time as John. So what are they going to say now? If Karen Reed was innocent, all of the evidence would just be falling into place in her favor. And the exact opposite is happening. Implicating an innocent person like this, knowingly, goes way beyond the rules of professional conduct. Some people can be a defense attorney without turning into a complete scumbag. Yannetti cannot. And Turtleboy also knows that nobody ever named Colin Albert, besides Karen Reed. Because Karen Reed had to think of a story as what else could have happened to John? Who had motive? And what's the motive?
Basically, was a get off my lawn guy because Colin was throwing beer cans on his lawn, and John would come out and yell at him, and Colin would say, "Who the f*** are you talking to? Like,
are you kidding me?
Like that."
So Turtleboy has launched an all-out attack on this 17-year-old kid. Someone with inside knowledge gave him up or dropped a dime, and it never happened. There, that tells you that Karen Reed is not telling the truth because there's no reason that they would ever have to lie. If your client is innocent, if Karen Reed is innocent, the chips will fall in place. The only people changing stories and creating theories out of thin air like this are people that are guilty. They cherry-picked the Apple Health data to say he was climbing up and down stairs, so he must have been inside the house, failing to mention that their own experts said that he didn't even arrive at the house until after those stairs were climbed. And his phone stopped moving permanently at 12:31. So tell me, what possibly could be the explanation? Because there isn't one. But their own expert doesn't even dispute the Waze data or the GPS data. So, I mean, they were just lying to us. So the data shows he never went inside the house, so what is the explanation? What other explanation is there besides that she hit him? And if her phone's right there when he made his last movements, how can you explain it? Unless someone came running out of the house with a shovel and killed him right in front of her. If Karen Reed and Ryan Nagel arrived in tandem at 12:24 in front of the house, you know, enough time for his sister to come out and have a conversation for him to take off, and then something goes down and John's phone stops moving permanently. So tell me, did he drop his phone in the spot where his body was going to be planted and walk into the house, get attacked, and then they just knew, oh, he dropped his phone there, so that's why we should plant his body? Tell me. Like, honestly, this is the stupidest conspiracy I've ever heard, and anyone that believes this is out of their mind. I mean, her taillight is broken. He's dead on the side of the road. The taillight's found there. His phone never moved. There's digital evidence showing her movement, showing his movement. There's no question what happened. And these people that are showing up to scream at the witnesses, to cheer on Karen Reed, who annihilated the primary caregiver of 2 orphans, you people are sick. There's no explanation as to why her taillight was smashed out, why she was saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, why she was calling people up in the morning saying, I think John's dead, he might have got hit by a plow. There's 12 witnesses that never saw him go inside the house, how his phone data shows him never going inside the house, how there's medical examiners, first responders, people in the hospital, all of which saw his injuries, none of which called them puncture wounds, let alone freaking dog bite. And it comes out there's no dog DNA. That should tell you something. His DNA is in the shattered glass from the back of the Lexus, and people are gonna show up and cheer on Karen Reed? Of you, Karen? Good job?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen. Happy birthday to you.
You know that all the safety features in our Lexus were working? So that morning when she backed out of the driveway and hit his car, as the defense would say, the park assist and the automatic braking would have kicked in, so she didn't hit it. As John O'Keefe's orphan niece and nephew wonder why so many people are so in love with the person that unalived their uncle. And every single one of John O'Keefe's loved ones know who killed him. And y'all think you know better by following a proven liar that just got out of jail? As far as murder cases go, I've never seen this much evidence against someone. You know, that many witnesses, digital evidence, forensics. I mean, she's cooked.